Hello everyone! Today I'm finally going to share my thoughts on Tom Ford's beautiful Spring 2015 makeup collection with you. As many of you know, I was traveling to New York and London for Fashion Week, so I did have to delay this video, but I'm finally ready to share all my thoughts and swatches with you. So this video is going to be different because, as usual, I will review all of the products before we move into the tutorial section. However, today I'm going to show you all three eyeshadow duos separately. So I'm going to put all of them on, but I'm not going to put them on all at once. So I decided that when I was testing out the makeup that each look was so unique that I had to showcase each duo individually. So that's what I decided to do. So you'll see them wet and dry, used with eyeshadow applicators, used with brushes, so you can definitely see how well they layer and meld together. But first I wanted to talk to you about the nail polishes, since I am wearing the navy on one hand and the green on the other. So the green is called Black Jade number 33, and I wasn't expecting to love this because I find that most hunter green polishes are not shimmery enough for me, or they're not bright enough for me, but this one is absolutely gorgeous in sunlight. It really pops, and it doesn't look quite as deep or as dark as a true black or a glossy black. The shimmer in here is ultra fine, but it really just enhances the warmth in your hands. It would be especially perfect on olive tones, I think. And as far as the Indigo Night goes, I have so many dark metallic blue nail polishes that I wasn't expecting to love this one either, but when I put it on, it's definitely one of the best Tom Ford nail polishes that I've ever used. It's ultra smooth, it wasn't streaky whatsoever, not even with the first coat. The Black Jade was a little bit more translucent, but I think still that they're both really easy Tom Ford nail polishes to apply. And the color is just so intense, it's really rich, it doesn't dry too quickly, it doesn't get that molassesy texture. So I highly recommend these if you're looking for the perfect dark alternatives to black. I personally don't like to wear black nail polish. On me, it doesn't look edgy, it just looks like I'm trying to be goth, so it doesn't work for me, but these dark navies and these hunter greens do. Now, even though I reviewed the cream color for eyes for Spring 2015 on the blog already, I had to talk about it because I did use it in the tutorial. I did pair it with one of the eyeshadow duos, so you'll see it in action as well, but I just think that this particular color is so on trend right now, but I just think it's a universally easy color to wear because it has a hint of brown, it has a hint of taupe, a hint of khaki. It's the perfect balance between warm and cool. So I highly recommend this. You can create really subtle, natural looking eyes, and I did show that versatility in the tutorial as well. So definitely stay tuned and pick this up if you haven't already because it is limited edition. And now for the highly anticipated eyeshadow duos. So in the ad campaign, the model seems to be wearing Crushed Indigo Wet, and I love it. I think it's a really interesting blue. It has so much depth. It's perfect when used as eyeliner, and these eyeshadows are just so finely milled. They look beautiful when used dry or when used wet. Now, I showed a couple different techniques for using these eyeshadows wet, but I do find that the best way, the creamiest result, is when you spritz your brush with water. Make sure it's got a good amount of water. Obviously, you don't want it to be soaking wet, but you do want it to be fairly damp and create almost like a paste. But be very gentle because these eyeshadows don't need that much pressure. They're quite malleable. So once it's turned into a paste, gently place it on the eye, and the fewer the strokes you use, the better. I just feel like it builds up pigmentation and it shears it out a little less. So I actually didn't expect to like Crushed Indigo because I normally don't wear blue eyeshadows. I find them hard to wear, especially against my very yellow toned skin, but Crushed Indigo is a really fun way to wear blue, and I think I love it so much because I absolutely adore the blue pearl pigment in the highlighter. It's just such a unique shade, and I don't own anything like it. In fact, I've never seen anything like it, so I highly recommend it if you're looking for a really fun blue eyeshadow palette. And now for Ripe Plum, I think that hands down this is going to be everyone's favorite because it's so easy to wear, and it's actually an updated take on the typical white highlighter and brown eyeshadow too. So it doesn't look like it in the pan, but looks are deceiving, right? So here on the highlighter side, we have a really strong pink duochrome. In fact, the duochrome in this particular color is the strongest out of the three in the duos. And when you use this wet, it turns really, really pink. So I like to layer this wet first on the lids and top with a little bit of the dry eyeshadow so that you really get that pearlescent pop. So it just is the perfect multi-dimensional white, pink, pearly duochrome eyeshadow. And the brown on this hand, I can see why it's called Ripe Plum, because there is a lot of purple and pink shimmer in it. So in the light, when it's used dry or used wet, it actually leans a little bit purple. So it depends on what angle you're at, but I do find that it shines like a ripe plum. And to wrap up this trio, we have Raw Jade, which is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. Now, my eye look is pretty natural. I'm wearing probably some of the most natural false lashes I've ever worn on camera. These are really lightweight, not too full, not too long. So I really wanted to keep this all about the eyeshadow. And I framed it with a really strong brow. I know lots of you have been asking me to feature a strong brow look, so I figured why not? So this is about as dark as I get. It looks much darker in person, but I just find that this brow is arched, it's sexier, it's more in the vein of Tom Ford's kind of look. And to be quite frank, this highlighter again has blown me away. It has that minty factor with a hint of lime. So of the three palettes, I find that these two are easiest to blend together. If you are a low maintenance eyeshadow kind of person, then you could just blend these two together and create a quick wash of color on the lids. It's simple, it's pretty, it's brightening, and it doesn't make your eyelids look too crepey. So even if you have hooded eyes, I highly recommend this. But I think the reason why I am so fond of Raw Jade is because brands don't really make colors like this. Greens aren't that popular in general. They're really dark emeralds, like they're super smoky, but this is wearable. It's not khaki. And even though Ripe Plum is obviously the safe choice, the conservative choice, the most bang for your buck choice, I do think that Raw Jade is perfect for the upcoming spring, summer, and fall season. So this is a fun one. Now for the mascaras. So this was my first time trying the Extreme Mascara by Tom Ford, and I have it in two colors, Intense Teal and Black Plum. Black Plum looks like a really soft brown plummy color on my lashes, so it really doesn't make a huge impact in terms of color, but I do like the formula because it's soft, it's nourishing, it doesn't hold curl, but it isn't a waterproof mascara, and all of you know my lashes are super fine, super sparse, and really stubborn. They don't hold curl, so I wasn't surprised. It is nice on my lower lashes though. So I did put Intense Teal, which did show up. It kind of created a mermaid effect because of the brighter, cooler teal against the warmer forest fairy green of the Raw Jade eyeshadows. So I thought it created this really nice contrast. It added some brightness and some real depth to the look. So Intense Teal is a fun one, especially if you have black or naturally gray lashes like I do. So I love the oversized brush. It's still easy for even my small almond-shaped eyes to use. And it's oversized, so I was pretty shocked at first. I wasn't sure how well it would work out. But if there was ever a waterproof formula in this mascara released, you know I would be the first in line to buy it. And that's a wrap for my little review of Tom Ford's Spring 2015 collection. If you want to know extra thoughts and if you want to see swatches of the nail polishes, definitely swing by my blog, and I will link it down below so you have easy access to the post. And now, without any further ado, let's begin with the eyeshadow tutorials. So just to get into the swing of things, I'm going to show you how Crushed Indigo's highlighter looks dry, sponged on with the applicator provided. I'm just going to spritz the applicator with a lot of water, and now I'm just setting the same eyeshadow down using the same applicator, just wet. And the color coverage is a lot more saturated, it's more opaque, and it has more of that metallic sheen. Now I'm going to sponge on the navy eyeshadow, and this is dry. You can see how pigmented it is, even with a sponge tip applicator like this. I'm really impressed with this navy blue, and normally I don't like blue eyeshadows, but this one can be used as an eyeliner. You don't have to wear it as an eyeshadow, so I'm actually going to show you right now. I thoroughly spritzed my brush with water, and now I'm just applying the eyeshadow with a flat shader brush. And voila, you have eyeliner. Now, I know this look is rather messy because obviously I'm just trying to show you the application. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I do think that this demonstration goes to show how versatile this little eyeshadow duo is. So the bottom line is, if you are prone to eyeshadow fallout, if you don't really have a steady hand, then I highly recommend using these eyeshadows wet, because I do think that it makes it a little easier to control the pigment, the color, and the finish. So now let's move on to the layered eye look. Now I'm going to show you the second layered look of the day. This is Tom Ford's Spring 2015 cream color for eyes, and I am using a very sheer layer. I'm just going to blend it out with a finger. And these are not complete eye looks, these are mostly to show you the textures in action. So if I am going a little quickly and it looks a little messy, do forgive me. So here we are. As you can see, when I use just a little bit, it looks like a very natural wearable taupe. You can, of course, build it up to a very grungy, smoky color. And I'm actually going to go ahead and do that right at the base of the lashes, just so you can see how amazingly versatile this color is. Of all the cream colors, I think this is my favorite of the dark colors that have been released, because it looks just as good sheer as it does built up. So we're just going to leave it at that medium khaki ashy brown, and I'm going to start with the eyeshadow. I'm going to begin by placing the highlighter color on the eyes with the sponge applicator. This one has an even stronger pink pearl than the blue pearl, and I absolutely love it. I think it's such a unique eyeshadow color. So with the Indigo highlighter, I showed you the wet application with a damp sponge tip. Now I'm going to use the brush side, and as you can see, it's significantly smoother. Now you can use the sponge or the brush depending on whichever effect you like, but if you're looking for something ultra smooth, if your eyes are more sensitive to powder particles, then definitely use the brush side or a full-size brush, which I will show you in the next set of colors. Now I'm going to apply the dark brown color, and as you can see, it's not really quite purple, but it is a purple based brown, so it's like a plummy brown. And I'm just going to blend this in. And I'm just going to leave the top slightly unblended, because when we use the eyeshadow wet along the lash line, it creates this really gradated, intense effect that just looks so natural and effortless, but really polished. As you can see, I'm going to spritz the brush wet on the other side, and then I'm just gently placing that color along the outer half of the eye, blending it out, and gradually blending it in the center of the lid, just so that it transitions nicely from the pink duochrome to the brown purple duochrome. And without adding any excess product to the brush, just drag the color towards the inner corner to complete the look. And voila, here is the completed eye with just one coat of the Extreme Mascara. If you change your mind though and you decide you don't like the look and you want to add a little extra brightness, all you have to do is take a little bit of the highlighter eyeshadow just on a clean, dry finger and pop it right on top of the pink. It will relax and subdue the tones of the pink, so it looks more like a lavender or lilac as opposed to a pearly pink duochrome. And now we're finally going to start playing with the last palette called Raw Jade, and I'm going to start again by placing the highlighter in the inner corner. Actually, I'm going to place it all over the lid, but this time, as you can see, I am using a fluffy brush instead of the applicators. It is a lot more sheer when you put it on with a blending brush such as this, but I'm also going to show it to you wet. First, however, here is the darker color in the Duo. This is the Jade color in the Raw Jade Duo. So even though Ripe Plum is easier to wear and Crushed Indigo is actually pretty fun to use, I think that the Raw Jade is probably the most unique of the three. Now in my excitement, I got a little too distracted and the eyeshadow migrated a little farther than I wanted it to. So now that you've seen the highlighter and the green color separately, I'm actually going to show them blended together on the lid. I haven't done that with the others, so I figured this one would be the best to show. And I just swirled the highlighter and the darker green on the same brush, just dipping into each pan. And that is the solid color. So you can wear it like this if you want, just as a quick wash with a lot of mascara and maybe some brown eyeliner. That would be perfect. But right now I'm going to show you how it looks when layered. I'm going to take my Tom Ford shader brush and I'm going to spritz it. Then I'm using the highlighter and I'm really gonna pack it on just so you can see it. I personally love these highlighters used wet. I think they're just so much fun. And this pearly green has more of a fairy quality to it, kind of like Tinkerbell, but in the most grown-up way possible. And where I've packed it on right above the pupil, you can see how the green really glows. Here, where it's more diffused, because I used it dry first, it has more of an ethereal yellow gold tint, whereas here it's much brighter, much more green. So I hope my camera can pick up on the differences, but I just think it's absolutely magnificent. As expected, the pigment is a lot more intense. And I'm just going to use gentle circular motions to blend this color in. I don't want any harsh lines because that is one trouble when working with wet eyeshadows. They dry down, so you must blend efficiently and not waste any time. Give the edges a quick tug with your finger if you make a mistake. I honestly find that's the fastest way. I'm just going to layer on more and more at the very corner until I'm satisfied. And then I'm going to go ahead and use it wet again with the same flat eyeliner brush that I used in the beginning with the crushed indigo to complete the eye look. Picking up a generous amount with the wet brush is the first step. And now I'm just going to push the brush into the roots of my lashes to create a liner effect. And this one isn't quite as dramatic as the crushed indigo because this is a more subtle color, but I'm dragging the liner out, elongating its shape, but not really creating a cat eye wing. I nearly pulled the eyeliner down, and it's not creating sad eyes, but it is just creating an elongated shape. Normally I like to lift all the way up toward the eyebrow, but we're just switching things around today. As the creaminess that the wet brush lent to the eyeshadow sets and dries down, you can see the defined line between the liner look and the softly diffused eyeshadow look. So I really love the way it's coming together. I'm just using a little bit of the eyeshadow wet one last time. But here I thought we might do something a little bit more fun and try the teal mascara. Because my lashes are so fine and sparse, you might not be able to see the color much, but I figured it was worth a shot. So I wrapped up the eyes with Shimmer's drawing pencil in a matte green color right in the waterline. I didn't want to use black because I was afraid it would close off my eye, and I just wanted to further enhance the green tones of the raw jade. So then I popped on the Benefit Angel lashes, and then I used the smaller calligraphy side of my Tom Ford eye defining pen, and that helped to seamlessly blend my false and my real lashes together. So no funky weird looking gaps. So this is a very big departure from my normal eye look because most of you know I'm wearing some sort of dark black or dark brown pencil or liquid eyeliner, but today I've only got powder on and I really love it. So let's move on with the rest of the face. Now I'm just taking a beauty blender sponge and patting the Traceless foundation all over the face. And now that we finish up the foundation, I'm going to take the concealing pen in Light, and I'm just going to pop this under my eyes. This will really help to give us the fresh-faced look to balance out the smokiness of the green. And unfortunately, because my translucent powder from Tom Ford is missing, I'm just going to use this one by Burberry. Just use something that's not too drying. You don't want to mattify the skin too much. And today I've paired it with my Chikuhedo Z1 to give me sheer but very even and soft focus coverage. And now that my eyebrows are filled in, we'll move on to bronzer. I did just want to note that I created a curved shape just to lift the eyes a little bit since we extended this way. It just gives the whole face a little bit of balance. So now I'm just going to take the bronzer down the sides of my nose, along the cheeks, and underneath the jawline. I'm going to use a hint of Frantic Pink, a really soft peachy pink tone, and I just think it will suit this look perfectly because I want to keep all the attention right here, right in the eyes. That's why I did my brows a little bit darker today. I know lots of you want to see me with a darker brow occasionally anyway. And in place of using highlighter, today I'm just going to take what's left over on my brush and run it down the center of my nose and on my Cupid's bow. Tom Ford's blushes have a really luminescent quality, so if you just take the excess, it actually works as a highlighter. Last but not least, to finish off the lips, I'm going to create a custom color by blending two lips and boys. First, I'm going to set down a little bit of William. And to tie in the warmer peach tones from the blush, I'm going to use a hint of Patrick on top. And so I'm going to pat in the color today so that it won't sit in my lip lines because my lips are feeling a little extra dry today. And that completes my take on Tom Ford's Spring 2015 collection. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I really hope you enjoyed seeing all three of the eyeshadow duos in action. If you want to see swatches, don't forget to swing by www.theraeviewer.com. See you all next time. Bye.